Wait, what color were you before this again?
Black.
Okay. For some reason, I just had a flashback to you with pink, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that was when I first met you.
Yeah, I was pink for almost 2 years. Yeah, almost 2 years.
But it was black before that.
Yeah, that's why. That's
black
why.
looked good though.
But that's why I had to do all the extensions because I put shirt all my fucking hair off. Go back to black.
It's just Brad.
I have no hair left.
Look, rhinestones.
There's just rhinestones everywhere.
They bring us power.
Yeah, right. There you go. And
Am I in there? Are we in?
Oh yeah, you're in there. You're in there.
Oh, fabulous.
I think.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway. All right, what's up, you guys? We're back with Behind the Bikini, and Jordan is on vacation, so we have Jennifer. We got the J's. We got it going. We're good.
J going on.
So we're on episode 118 this week. This week. Oh my god!
Yeah.
All right, this week we're on 118.
It's the holidays. What's today?
I know. I don't know. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Excellent.
Because Thanksgiving's Thursday. So anyway.
And then Christmas is tomorrow.
Oh, right?
Awesome.
We were just talking about that. One of the reasons why we brought Jennifer on this podcast is we're going to talk about improvement season, because this is the first time since she started competing that she's taken a full year off to prepare for the coming season. So we wanted to go into a little bit of what that felt like, because I feel like
the highs, the lows,
the
lows.
Yeah, what we're planning on for next year, all those kinds of things, because I think a lot of you out there are probably going into this at this point right now. You know, this is the time frame where most people go off season. If they haven't been already for a few months, you know, since the summertime, that kind of thing, they're starting now. They're going through their last couple of shows in the fall. Then they have to start making decisions, because, you know, if you only do a couple of months off, which is what you would do right now if you want to compete in the summer, you don't have time to make any improvements. Yeah. That's why they call it improvement season, right? So before we get into the details of all of this, like, comment,
I was gonna say, I was like, I want to be that girl.
Wherever they
That's
are.
what Jordan always says. She's like, wherever they are. You're welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, all of the fun things. And yeah, so, I mean, technically, as of this week, this is your 1 year of off season, because your last show last year was the Ben Weeder. Yeah. We just got through the Ben Weeder on Saturday, this past weekend. So,
1 year off and 4-year anniversary of pro.
Yeah, because she won a pro card at Ben Weeder. Yeah. So this is the fun fact too. You won the Masters overall to win your pro card.
Oh, because 35. I was like, Masters is 40. Because in our mind, you should only be Masters at 40. But over 35.
Yeah, and then she went on to compete in the Open and actually placed top 5, and it was 4th, right? Yeah, top 5 in an Open Pro show, actually right behind Ashlyn and Romina and all them too. So, so it is possible to win your pro card as a Masters athlete and do well in the Open. It's rare, I'm gonna be honest. It's rare, but as I've told you before, you kind of have the perfect setup of genetics because of your background and everything too. So maybe you could tell people a little bit about, you know, we've talked about your story getting into it before, but just kind of give us a Reader's Digest version of getting right into this.
Cliff notes. So former dancer, grew up a dancer. So these legs, I could do one plie and my quads are back. I could do a releve and the calves are calving. So genetically, my muscles, genetics are one thing, but muscle memory, whole life was a dancer. Yeah. So that's always there. Yep. Then let's see, after dance, I just always danced. I mean, after I stopped dancing professionally, I just kept it in my life. And then got a little sloppy during COVID and selling real estate, drinking lots of wine, eating lots of steaks, lots of virtual happy hours. I got a little sloppy. And I was like, oh, this isn't me. My clothes don't fit. Like, this isn't cute, you know? So then that's when I started, you know, my health and wellness journey, if you will. So in 2020 into 2021, went from 210 pounds down to 180. And then at that point, my coach at the time was like, hey, you should consider wellness. Because again, I do one plie and the quads are like, boom. But I looked like a twig next to the wellness girls.
But even back then, wellness was different. Like, wellness was a lot smaller than it is today. So that, you know, that was only 5 years ago. You know?
But to think how much of a twig I looked like when they weren't even that big, like, that was not my ministry. So then we jumped into bikini to get the feedback there to see which route we wanted to go, and bikini was my jam. So that's when jumped into, so Weider was my second bikini show, fortunate enough to win my pro card and masters, and then just kind of kept it going. You know?
I think one thing that's really important here, because, you know, every time we come out of the Ben Weider, there's always this big controversy about the natural athletes. Are they really natural and all this kind of stuff, and winning their Olympic qualifications. I know there was a big hubbub about that for this year. But what you have to remember is that for a lot of people, like Jennifer said, she was a dancer her whole life. So this is genetics, but it's also been trained into your body since you were this big. You know, so that's something we talk about with Ashley Kaltwasser. She was a D1 track athlete.
Right?
You know, so a lot of these girls, though they look like they are not natural, have just been doing this their whole life. Just other athletic disciplines, and then shifting it into bodybuilding, which, you know, if you haven't built any, you know, bad habits and bad structural things when it comes to your athletic background, it's kind of easy to go into bodybuilding and be successful. You know, some of the biggest problems that some people have coming into this discipline is going from being like a strongman powerlifter or whatever, and then trying to do bodybuilding because it's strength and power versus aesthetics. But when we're talking about being a dancer or being a track athlete or a gymnastics person or whatever, those go hand in hand with bodybuilding. I mean, they really do, because they have to do with flexibility and movement of your body and all of that kind of stuff too. So it actually will help you in this.
Well, and when I was dancing, I had a trainer and a nutritionist. So I was doing bodybuilding on a smaller scale, kind of, you know, I mean, I wasn't really thinking about like what muscle move to engage, you know, but it was lightweight, long reps type stuff, you know, just to have that lean look for dance. So yeah, that definitely helped. But this is a different kind of weightlifting. It's a little different, but you know what's crazy? I actually bumped into my trainer from when I was dancing. She's still here in the area, in the Northern Virginia area. Bumped into her at a Gold's one day. And told her, I said, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe this. I'm a bodybuilder now, because she used to be one back in her day. Yeah, she was figure, I think, or physique, I don't know. So she was just so tickled. She didn't know anything about bikini, you know, because it's a completely different world, but she was just so tickled. I was like, everything just came full circle.
Well, it's almost an advantage that you came from that too, because we talk about this now, like we try to get girls into yoga and Pilates and all the core control things, all those things. Those are disciplines that you get from when you're dancing. So I mean, it's important with your posing and core control and all of that too. So
it's so funny though. Some of my best friends, she jokes with me now, because when I quit dancing, it was because I was tired of the 2-a-day workouts. I was tired of tracking my food. I was tired of the whole lifestyle. And now here I am doing it on a whole nother level of crazy. She's like, joke's on you. I'm like, whatever, I look great. Well, and I feel great, you know, most importantly.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of people look at bodybuilders and look at it as almost like a disorder, like a disordered eating or disordered training or whatever. Like we're addicted to it. But I also look at it like you're gonna be addicted to something,
right?
In your life.
Choose your vice,
right? So you might as well be addicted to something that's going to be healthy for you long term, right? I look at it that way. Like I always say that, like I grew up in the modeling and entertainment industry, right? So it was just starve yourself skinny. That's what it was all about, and do 1,000,000 hours of cardio and all those kinds of things. So I would rather have this kind of discipline than what I grew up doing. You know, we didn't know any different growing up, and now at least we know, and we know how to feed our bodies correctly. And it is a different mindset completely, and understanding that, you know, food is fuel and you need it, but you don't need all the junk and everything like that too. So that's actually something I wanted to go into with you, because you know, going through this improvement in off season, that is something we hugely worked on.
Did we have a darling?
Say that. Your food focus and mindset around food and things like that.
Beautiful way of putting it. Your food focus. I like snacks.
And it's not just snacks. It's you know, once you once you start, you don't. Why stop? You know, we've already fucked it up. We might as well just keep fucking it up. You know. That part. So tell me a little bit about, you know, how that has shifted for you this year.
Well, I guess doing this for however the handful of years now that I have been doing this, the awareness of how I feel. Like if I put crap in my body that I don't normally put in my body, it so much the next day, but 48 hours later, for sure. And if I don't feel it, I see it, you know, but mostly I feel it.
Yeah.
You know, before, like you said, it's like you go into the deep end a little bit and then you just stay there. Just swim around for a little bit until you feel like you're sinking.
Well, it's very interesting because your body is very responsive one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we do weekly check-ins, things like that. And for a little bit, we did bi-weekly check-ins.
Yeah, we
too.
sure did. It's like accountability. Yep. We're going to put on this bikini.
Yep. But it was amazing because, like you said, like if you had an off day, we would see it on your body 48 hours later. Mm-hmm. That was always your thing. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, it's the next day I see it. Mm-hmm. By 48 hours later, it's out of my system. For you, it's different. You know, so it's like it doesn't show up for 48 hours. But these are the things that you figure out when you're paying attention, right? If you
sorry to cut you off, but that just made me think that was the strategy of why I wanted my check-ins to be Tuesdays, because then I couldn't go off the rails on the weekends, right. So if I did,
it would show up
Tuesday morning.
Yep, it would
happy
show up
as can be, but not. So, and that happened a few times, you know, and then I didn't like how I felt seeing those check-ins and how I felt in that check-in. Yep. So then that was a reminder of, okay, Jen, this is not, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this?
Yes.
How do you want to feel? You know, not about how do you want to look, but how do you want to feel?
Yes.
And I want to feel good. I want to feel good about what I'm putting out every week in my check-ins. I want to be able to look back and see the differences. Like, you're so good at that, of doing like the side-by-side comparison of a month ago to now, right? Maybe only a pound of a difference, but you were eating this, and this as far as like artificial things, or like the processed stuff, versus this is what your body looks like, just a pound difference, but on the whole foods, right? So,
well, even, and not even just the food aspect too, even just the discipline aspect of it with what you were doing with your training. Remember, because we started, I was like, we really got to focus on the core control. You know, we really got to focus on doing this Pilates stuff. I know you don't want to do it. I know you don't want to do it.
Kicking and screaming on our way to that mat every week.
But when you go and you look back at where you were in September with your core control versus where you are now, it's a big difference. You can see it in the pictures, you can see it in the videos. So, you know, it's not something that you can compare week over week, but it is something you can look back on and see. And again, this is where data comes into play, right? Yeah. Going back to the food focus aspect of it, you know, we started to understand what your triggers were. We started to understand what you could handle and what you couldn't. You know, when we first came out of season last year, we were very strict on keeping your macros. You know, we're not going to do
we tried flex. What are they called?
Flex meals. Yeah.
Flex meals. Yeah, because I called them like flex weeks or flex. I don't know what I called it. But it was not what it was supposed to be.
It's like, no, we got to go back.
Yeah. Nice try, Stank. Not working for you. Yeah, we tried. We've come so far.
But we were able to get you to a point where you're like, okay, now I can do those, right?
Yeah.
So. One thing that I program in with all of my clients, lifestyle and, you know, competitive, is flex meals. So the flex meals are there, not when you're in season, when you're off season, for hormonal shifts. Like if you're going into your cycle or something like that, I allow all of my clients to have a flex meal, depending on where they are with their calories and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The flex meal is a little bit different, put together a little bit differently. But I say this is your opportunity to eat what you're craving without going way over on your calories, your intake for the day. So I give that to every one of my clients. Everybody uses it a little bit differently. Some people use it every time they get their periods. Some people, like, they start having their cravings a week before their periods, and that's when they use it. Whatever. They don't need it, whatever it may be, but it's there. So they have that mental flexibility if they need it. When we first started doing those with Jennifer, it was the best idea in the world. So we're gonna go away. We're not gonna do those, you know. Follow
your plan.
Yeah, but we got to a point where mentally she was able to do that. It wasn't even physically; it was mentally. Yeah. It was all mental. And then once you realize, oh, I can do this and still not go way off the deep end. Right. Then you were able to keep yourself under control, and it was more of that mental release that we're looking for. Now, when we're employing strategies like that, it's to give you mental release. And if it's creating more mental stress, it's not worth doing, right? Yeah. So,
and that release was definitely needed for a full year of off. Like, when are you gonna go on stage again? I don't know. When are you gonna prep? I don't know. You know, so it's like, to feel like I was following this regimen, like, so hardcore, but I'm not in prep. But you really are in prep when you're in off season, you know. I mean, there were check-ins that I would send you, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm there's so much to do, and why are we doing this? I never questioned why, like, at least I didn't say it to you, but in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, where's the freedom, right? Like, I felt like I was just like, in cuffs.
Yep.
So to have that and feel like I was in control of something.
Yep.
Even though, we're in control of everything, every day, every choice.
Yes.
But that was super helpful.
Yeah.
Super helpful.
Well, I've just seen, even more so your physical growth. Like I said, this is why I wanted to focus on this a little bit. I've seen your mental growth again when it comes to around food. Like even, I always go back and I laugh about like the after hours for CCTS.
Hello, binging.
Yeah, where we just sit there and just drink and like everything, and then you would leave and you would go get more food at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, like you're not hungry.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go eat just because I can,
Yeah.
That was a thing for a couple of years, and then it completely shifted. I noticed it that even this past year at CCTS, it was like we had a couple of drinks, so we all went to bed, and that was it. We're done.
We're also older. We can't shut up, but what time is it?
Right? I know.
That reader's on for that.
And then you come out to Vegas, and we just stay out until we close down all the bars. So there's that.
Worst. I'm like,
that was not my fault.
I went out for like a cocktail, an early night. How many drinks do we have?
I don't know.
We're
not. I got the Vegas days.
Yeah.
Anyway,
went into it thinking it was going to be a little one drink and go home kind of night. No, we shut that shit down.
Yeah, we were definitely the last people there.
Down.
But anyway,
we drank our macros. We didn't eat them and drink them.
This is true. Progress.
So bad. No, good times though. But then also it's like how often
we did that once.
Do that,
We did that once.
So that's another thing too that's changed. It's just like I'm not out doing all the things everywhere all the time. Like I know my limits. I pick and choose when I'm gonna have those moments.
And again, knowing that you can go out and you can have fun and not go way overboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was
sure.
the thing. We had dinner, we went out, we had a great time, and we went to bed. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, and that's part of it. That's part of it. Like we always talk about balance. I think for a lot of us, there is no such thing as balance, or what we consider to be balance. Other people in real life think we're fucking crazy and we're really super strict. But for us, that's balance. And it helps us to stay on track and still make progress and still live our life too at the same time. So, and I also think like, like I said, going back to, I think mentally it's more important than even physically.
For sure.
It does. It after a night of drinking like that or whatever, you don't feel the best the next day.
Right. One of the days. Oh, that wasn't. What was your posing?
Oh, was it the boot camp?
Yes. Where we had some cocktails the night before, and then the next day she's like, "So we could do a couple different things today. We can train glutes." Bitch, we just drank last night. I don't do glutes after drinking. Like, are you crazy? No, I need my solid foods going into a glute day. So I said, I opt out of that. Yeah.
We did upper body.
We did upper. And it was like the training focus.
It was.
I end up punching the guys. She did not just say, you guys want to do glutes. She didn't just say that.
We went to train upper body and then we did pole dancing and posing. Oh my God,
that was torture.
I couldn't believe how, like, when we finished up with that day, I was like, man, that was a really physical day. I don't
remember what the step count was that day. Know. Then we went and walked.
Yeah, we walked the strip. We walked Fremont to go get donuts.
Yeah. Oh, those are good too.
Yeah, that was a very physical day. I was like, oh, okay. I did not realize I scheduled all of that in the same day. It was cool. It was a cool story. Anyway, I digress. So going back to...
Oh, right.
Yeah. So training changed quite a bit this past year too. So
that was hard to
adjust. So tell me a little bit about, for you mentally, how that was difficult, because it was very different from how you trained in the past. So tell me a little bit about how that focus was for you.
So you took away a back day.
Yep.
I only get to do back. When that happened, I was like, oh God. Like, I think that's when I started to not spiral, but like mentally it became really challenging because we were very clearly focused on a training goal.
Yep.
But I didn't have any shows. Like, I didn't have a prep in mind. I was just doing what I was supposed to do to prepare for what I don't know I'm doing yet. So that was really hard. And now I thrive. I get my back day once a month, and I love that day. Like, the world shuts down when I get my one back day. Like, no one is going to talk to me, no one's going to bother me, no one's going to ruin this day because this is my one day that I get to, you know, try and grow a little big back Becky.
Yep.
And then so we kept shoulders. Shoulders stays in once a week, and then 3 other days of lower.
Yep.
And so it's basically like an every other day training, which is different because I was used to training 5 days, a day of cardio, and then a true rest day.
Yes.
You know? So at first it was like, oh wow, what am I gonna do with all this free time? But it's not actually free time. Like, you find things to do in the time that you now have.
Yeah.
So for us, it was forcing in that Pilates, forcing in intentional like stretching, recovery. I do hot cold therapy now too, the soaking and infrared. But it's been different.
Yeah. Well, because the mentality always is more is more, right? More is good. More must be better, right?
Yeah.
It's not though, and especially as we start getting older, we need more time to recover. You know, and that's where the growth happens. So the reason I took her back day out was because she was getting really thick, like a lot of mass on her.
And this thing thick with two.
I know, like really dense muscle in the back, and we don't need that. We need shape, right? Especially in bikini, you're putting your hair down your back, so you don't need that thickness of muscle back there. You need the width. So we kept the shoulders because that gives you the width and the pop and all that kind of stuff. But when it came to the density of the back, her back was growing more than the rest of her body. So we took the back day out. So we'll just keep it in there once a month, so you keep it activated. You're still going to keep it activated when you're lifting, doing your lower body, things like that. That's all we really need right now. But we don't want to add, again, with you, and also this is the part you have to think about body structures too, because if her back starts getting thicker, it's actually going to make her waistline thicker too, which is not something we want. So again, we have to think about those kinds of things. But as we started bringing down the training, I started seeing the rest of your body getting denser because you're allowing yourself to physically recover and grow back better, right? What people don't realize is that when you're in the gym, you're tearing your body apart. When you're outside the gym, that's when everything needs to repair and build and grow. That's where the density comes from. That's where that depth of muscle comes from. And if you don't allow yourself recovery time, that's never going to happen. Which brings us all the way back to what we first said at the beginning of this, where some people are going into off season now only to get on stage in the summer. You're not giving yourself time to grow any depth or density of that muscle. If you're constantly in a cut, you're putting muscle on and then you're taking it right back off. If you think about it this way, the newest muscle, the newest tissue that you put on your body is going to be the first tissue your body gets rid of when you cut. So if you think about it that way, you know, that's why we don't want to, we want to give your body a chance to mature. We always talk about mature muscle. We always talk about that density. That's why her quads won't go anywhere. Because the first muscle she ever put on was in her quads when she was dancing. So that's going to be the last thing that goes away when she cuts. So everybody's got that thing, you know, same thing with me. I mean, I haven't trained upper body in a year. So like if I was to start lifting shoulders today, guess what would come right back? My shoulders, because that's the first thing that everybody always said before I ever competed. It was like, oh, you got those swimmer shoulders. That's where it came from. So that's the first thing that's going to come back too. Again, same thing with me. I've had this whole last year off, going from bikini into fit model, you know, forced because there's no pro shows, but also I needed density in my glutes. If I continue to cut, yeah, I'll grow a little bit of muscle, but that's gonna be the first thing that cuts off as soon as I start cutting again. So yeah, I've got some density there that hopefully will stick the next time that I cut. This is the same situation here. We wanted to grow that density, that muscle fullness, that when she starts cutting again, it will stay there when we start going through that cutting season.
That's the scary part. Like, I have nightmares, not really, but like I kind of think I do. Of like, what's gonna happen when we get rid of the extra 20 pounds? Because it is a solid 20 pounds that has to be gone for stage. And so what's gonna stay, what's gonna go?
And when you look at it from the outside, it doesn't look like you've put on a ton of size. It doesn't look like that. Plus, you know, not being on any PEDs and things like that, that also has something to do with that. But you have to remember that muscle needs to stay there and it needs to mature in order to stay there when you cut, right? And if you're constantly going this bulking, cutting, you're not giving your muscle the opportunity to stick. So taking a full year off allows you to grow, but more of those dense, thicker muscle fibers on the inside. That's what we need in order to make you look fuller on stage. That needs to stay there. The fat will come off the top of it. Yeah. That what you got inside is what's going to stay. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd just like to take a moment to welcome our new channel partners, Prozis. If you're unfamiliar with them, go ahead and go down into my description box now, click on the link, go check out their site. They are the leading supplement sports nutrition company based out of Portugal, been around for 17 years. You might be asking what makes Prozis unique? Well, everything that they make is made in-house or with trusted partners. They have to go through rigorous testing in Portugal in order to even get any products on the market. So what you're gonna find really high quality, pure supplementation. And one of the biggest things for me is I have some GI issues. So being able to eat some of these more healthy protein treats and things like that and not have any gut issues, worth its weight in gold. Go check them out. Click on the link in my description box below. Use the code CUTIES10 to get all of your discounts and even some special surprises. They're always putting out some amazing promotions. Let them know that I sent you and let me know what you think. Thanks again for watching and thank you for supporting our channel. Now, go optimize your own athletic abilities and check out Prozis.com. So,
I want to see what's in there to peel back the layers.
Yeah.
I just want to see.
We always talk about it with Fit Body. We always talk about it with Fit Body Fusion. We talk about using a scalpel, not a sledgehammer.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's little teeny tiny. Yep. We're trying to create a sculpture. We're not trying to smash the rock down to bits, right? So that's what we're doing as we're growing too. We're little by little, we're putting a little bit of clay on top, a little bit more, letting that get a little bit thicker there. So, when you look at her shape, I feel like your glutes have massively improved as far as your shape is concerned. So, yeah. Plus, like I said, your density in your back has gotten a lot thicker. Shoulders too. So those are the things that I'm always looking at whenever I'm looking at your check-in. So even though I talk about this in my own, whenever you're checking in with me, I have every one of my girls send me in video. I want to see you do your walk to the back. I want to see you do your posing because I can see how your muscle is moving underneath the skin. Whenever you do your walk to the back, even at 23 pounds over your stage weight, 23 pounds, 24 pounds over your stage weight, nothing moves, right? Nothing shakes.
Right. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah. Nothing shakes, nothing jiggles. Yeah. That's important. That means you're dense and you're thick in those areas. So that means hopefully we can retain that as we start to bring you back down. Yeah. This is why doing a whole depletion diet and cutting as fast as you can and things like that is not a good idea. You want to go nice and slow so you can retain that thickness and that fullness back there. If we can do that, then when she gets on stage the next time, it's going to be a massively different and improved, thicker, rounder, fuller physique. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Well, and that'll be the plan for next year. I say next year, basically next month.
Yes.
It's around the corner. It's just that slow cut.
Which is something you've never really done.
No. No, we have not. Also, I haven't been and you said that we're still playing with food, going to the end of this year. I've never been at this much food going into any prep.
Yeah. And I still want to get you a little bit higher too. We've talked about that.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting. There are some days that I just don't want to eat.
It's hard. It's hard when you're eating all whole foods. It's hard.
Problems.
It's hard.
And like when people ask how much protein do you eat? I'm like, right now 170 grams. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I can barely get in 60. I'm like, I get it, but
and when you're talking about your size, that's not a lot of protein.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really not. Yeah. So we can still bump you up higher, but this is something else too. I take you nice and slow because again, I don't want you to put on an exorbitant amount of body fat because that's got to come back off at some point. I pay attention to your body composition. If you're looking like you're getting a little bit thick or a little bit fluffy, we're gonna pull back a little, But if you're staying solid, like I said, as you're staying solid, then we're like, okay, we can push it a little bit further. We can push it a little bit further. I'm not so worried about the scale weight as I am your body composition. Right. And again, you got to remember, you guys, she's also 5'9", so she's a tall girl. So she needs more size, she needs more thickness, she needs more muscle, she needs to be bigger, just in general, to compete against these little short girls.
Those little 5'2" nuggets.
They can put the weight on and muscle on like that. It's a thing.
But that has been something really that I can look back at this off season, and I am really proud of myself and thankful for you and proud of you as a coach with me, is the composition that we have kept.
Yes.
Like looking at my check. I mean, there are days that I wake up and do that Tuesday check and I'm like, God damn it, I feel like a goddamn cow. You know what I mean? And then those are the days that I do the whole process. I still show up. I do the thing. But I put the pictures and the video away for about 30 minutes so that I can come back to it with maybe a different mindset and appreciate what I see.
Yes.
Because how I'm feeling in the moment, like a heifer, is not actually what I'm seeing.
Right.
So
she still has hamstring tie-ins, and she's 23 pounds over her stage weight.
look at the legs, just they wake up ready. If only Josie would wake up ready.
I know, right? For real.
Josie's my glutes.
Yeah,
She
Josie's her
didn't know.
glutes. We have nicknames.
Mhm.
We have nicknames, yeah.
She's Josephine, formally. When she's acting wild, she's JoJo. But any given day, she's just Josie.
Just 9 to 5.
And then there's Bella in the back that we have. Yes, I've named my body parts. Say less. Yes, so hamstrings are there. They live in there.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, and again, one of the struggles of off season, you're watching all these other beautiful athletes and seeing how they show up. And I'm not really one to compare to like someone else's social media, because it's social media, like it's a highlight reel, right?
Right.
What matters is who's on stage next to you that day. But it's hard. It's mentally, it's still hard to see how phenomenal their bodies are. And
again,
I'm
this
scared if
comparison.
I'm gonna be what I hope to be when it comes time, you know.
And comparison is the thief of joy. You know,
Yeah.
you start comparing yourself to everybody else, and automatically you feel like you're not good,
Oh,
not
for
going to
sure.
be good enough. Automatically.
For sure.
So I tend to, for myself, compare myself to myself. You know, I'm a good 12-ish pounds above my stage weight.
That's it.
That's it.
Jeez.
That's it. But I didn't need to put on size. She needed to put on size. I didn't need to. So there's a difference, right? We remember goals here.
Yeah.
We're adjusting, right? So, but I
That's why you're so damn snatched every time. Okay. Because I look at your waist sometimes, I'm like, how is she just so... Okay, it's only 12 pounds. 20, okay. I'm okay now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can, even in the pictures that we took at the bar in Vegas together, you can see how much more muscle you have on your body than I do on mine. And that's by design.
Yeah.
You know, that's by design.
Yeah.
So the other part of it is I look back at my photos from because when I came into my off season last year, I had a hard time putting weight on. Period. Like it was hard.
Oh,
for me to
yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
kept
was hard.
dropping.
It was hard for me to get food to stick.
Yeah.
And I look at those photos versus where I am now, and I'm like, man, I look so much better now. Like I looked skinny, you know. So I have the opposite issue that a lot of people have in off season, where I feel good when I'm this size. You know, I have an ass. I'm like, you know, when I'm skinny, I don't. And it's just like it just is what it is. We've all got our struggles. So you have to remember that. Like I was just saying this before we got on here. I was like, I don't necessarily want to cut again. I like the way I look. I like the way I feel. I like the way my body functions right now. So I'm in that other boat of I don't want to get skinny again.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but do you ever look back at your in-season photos and say, oh, I look skinny there?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that, or do you like your off-season look better?
I like, so I'm kind of like a Jordan. Like, I like the look of the shreds and the things. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I like, I'm weird. I like both versions of me, you know, because they're here for a purpose in life, right? So like, I'm cool at this extra 20 plus pounds.
And that's important.
That's
important.
Yeah.
Again, that goes back to your body composition too. If it was 25 pounds of fat, it'd be a little different.
Listen, because genetically, while the quads show up, the fat will live here. And so I don't want to, I'm not comfortable in my skin with that, right? I was talking to somebody about, you know, bulking is the word that, you know, apparently we use in bodybuilding, right? In your off season, oh, I'm bulking. And when I told the person how much weight I've put on, and then also mentioned like my measurements, and like there's really not a huge
difference.
Not a huge change. And they were like scratching their head like, oh, well, I would have expected more of a bulk, and kind of making faces. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this is the body that I live in every day,
That's right.
right?
That's
And so like bulking might look like one thing to one person, but Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, I don't like the word bulking. We've talked about this in the podcast before.
Yeah.
Bulking insinuates that you're putting on just a ton of size.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, it's very, I mean, it's very methodical. Like,
We don't do that here.
for a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, for good reason. A, you don't feel good when
Right.
you do that.
Right.
B, as a woman, it fucks with your hormone panel
Mhm.
really, really badly. C, it creates bad mental habits. We were
Yeah.
just talking about how we use this entire improvement season to improve your outlook on food.
Mhm.
If you just go at it with let's just eat everything to bulk
Yeah.
kind of mentality, that ruins your food focus. Like you are, all you're looking at is food.
Yeah.
That's it.
But then also, you put it on, you got to get it off.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's right. And like I said
So-
before, you know, if you're trying to cut all that off, you're going to lose quality size with the fat. So if you put on a lot, you're gonna lose pretty much everything you put on.
Mhm.
So this is why we do it so slow and methodical. So you're putting on quality weight versus junk.
Yeah.
You know, junk in, junk out. That's how that works.
Yeah.
You know, so as you put the weight on, as you put that size on, like the same thing with me. I'm only 12 pounds, but it's quality size.
Mm-hmm.
It's density. When I do my walk to the back, I'm not shaking and jiggling. Even last year's prep, like when I was in off season, I had jiggle in my hamstrings and my glutes. I saw it. Now I don't, because
Nice.
it's density, it's muscle depth that has been added there. And that's the difference. A lot of people can't wrap their heads around this. They just think I got to put on size in the off season. Yes, but it's much more detailed than that. It's much more strategic than that.
Well, and then also, you know, we've said it before, but without PEDs,
Yeah.
I can't just go packing it on and
No.
then cutting it off,
No.
right? So
No.
like it's a little bit of a different
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, we talked about this last podcast, natty or not, like which one's the better version to do it. And at the same time, if you're going to do this without all those extra PEDs, you've got to give yourself time. More than anything else, you have to give yourself time. You have to give yourself time in and out.
Yeah.
So like I said, before we got on this, we were just trying to determine where we needed to go as far as getting her on stage. I've actually never done a full prep with you because I took over all of your stuff
Yeah.
while you were already prepping for a show.
Yeah.
So, you know, we didn't start from cradle to grave here. You know, this is going to be our first time starting from cradle to grave. And I said this, I was like, we've got to take this weight off really slowly. So, you know, we looked at shows that she's potentially thinking of doing. It's like, well, then we got to start cutting like first of the year. That's when we got to start.
Yeah.
So, because again, we want to go nice and slow so that we don't lose what we just put on.
Right.
You know, that's the important part here.
Yeah. I'm like cheesing because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, it's coming. I'm smiling now. Play this back when I'm like,
That's right.
why are we doing this?
That's right. That's right.
When we're in that what is it, 5-week freak out?
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Play episode 118 at minute.
Yeah, right, where are we? 36, something in
Yeah,
there.
that'll be the marker. Remember when you were excited for this?
Yeah, that's right.
No,
Well,
and
and-
I am.
But and I told you, you know, a month or so ago, I said, listen, our off season is coming to an end. You know, so I'm gonna start pushing you a little bit more with food. Gonna start pushing your comfort levels. This is a good time to do it during the holidays. You know, good time to do it. Add some more calories.
my fat's going
Yeah,
up.
like even like I'll be honest, like you sent in your check-in this morning, and I read through it, and it was like it said something like you didn't meet your carbs, and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, eat.
I just wasn't hungry. I slept in and I wasn't hungry. So
I know.
I got my proteins and my fats in.
I know.
They're good.
But I told you before too. I was like, if you're questioning if I should eat or not to stay within my caloric range, eat, because this is our last opportunity to get that food in there before we start cutting you down again.
Yeah.
So, eat.
The 5-week freak out when I'm hungry.
I know.
I'm gonna be
You're
like,
I
I
wish
should
I'd
have
eaten
had those 80 carbs Saturday, November 23rd, or whatever day it was.
Yeah.
Man, it's all good though. It's all good. But it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what lives underneath this. I'm excited to do a full prep, like I said, cradle to grave.
Yep.
And just kind of see
Yeah.
how it goes. And just be realistic about everything. You know, I want to go and I want to have a fun season.
Yes.
I want to learn more about me in this process, because that's one really beautiful thing of this off season is that, like you talked about the mental, you know, not just of like being in tune with my body, but just what parts of my life needed attention, right? Not being able to just be like tunnel vision on competing, but look at the big picture of life.
That's right.
You know?
Yep. I think that's important too. I mean, that's something that we lose a lot of the time. So a lot of our check-ins recently have been me telling you to find your happy place. You know, because stress of life and finances and work and all the things and personal relationships and all that stuff, that's real.
Yeah.
That affects people physically, mentally, emotionally. It can really drain you hard. And you know, like I said before, with her body, you can see it really clearly when she's got stress on her.
Sorry. Yeah.
and when she releases stress too, we can see it really clearly. We won't elaborate on that.
Extra cardio.
Extra cardio.
We love cardio.
Not programmed cardio.
It's programmed.
Let's just say, as a coach, I know all of the things.
Absolutely. Transparency. Everything. Have a coach you can trust.
That's right. As we're broadcasting to the world, you know, no big deal.
Name dropping, that's fine. We're human, okay?
No name dropping. Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, you can see it on your body, like. And again, going back to this is why it's important to keep a coach within off season. Like, you know, a lot of people drop their coaches when they go into an improvement season, or they don't stay on top of it as much, or whatever it may be. We've learned so much about her body through this off season. Like, we know how she's gonna respond. We know what the check-ins are gonna look like if she's had a rough week. You know, that's helpful. You know, that's really helpful. Like, there's certain times you'll check in and say, well, I ate the majority of my food at night before I went to bed. So we know why you looked bloated in the morning, because you ate all your food before you went to bed at night. So, you know, there's things that we can pick up on and say, well, this is not because the programming is going wrong.
Right.
It's because this
user error.
Okay, right. A plus B equals C. You know what I mean? So it's like we can see what's working and what's not. We don't freak out over little things. We don't freak out over the scale going up a pound because she ate all of her food at night.
Well, and that was something that you had to wake me up to, because I would stress going into check-ins, and then surprise, hold stress, tum-tum, scale goes up, right? So then we started doing, and most people probably shouldn't do this, but I was getting on the scale every day just to see how it would fluctuate throughout higher stress days, different schedule of eating, all the things. And that was such a wake-up call versus just get on the scale once a week or sometimes twice a week, and then being like irritated with what I saw versus understanding that my body is going to go between a few pounds any given week, you know, from one day to the next, it could change by 4 pounds, you know, so that was really helpful to do. Most people can't do that, so this is not a recommendation to get on the scale every day.
But we did it with a purpose in mind. I said, listen, I want you to do this so you can see clearly what is affecting your weight on the scale. It's not anything you're doing wrong. It's just your body's normal fluctuations. And once you start to understand what makes that happen, that scale weight is no longer a problem mentally. You know, you're like, oh, now I get why this happened.
Yeah.
Now I understand why I'm up 5 pounds. You know, for the longest time, this actually hasn't happened at all this year, but for the longest time, I would balloon up 3, 4, 5 pounds a couple of days before my period. You know, and it was just like, but I knew that's why that was happening. I knew that was why it was happening. It was like, so if I got on the scale to check in one day and my weight was up 3 pounds or something, 4 pounds, I knew my period was coming either that day or the next day, and it always would. It always would. So again, you're in control. You know, you understand, so you don't start freaking out like, okay, now I got to cut back all my calories because I just gained 3 pounds in a day. You know,
go do some extra cardio,
and
hopefully it goes away.
No, that's not what's happening. It's a hormonal fluctuation. That's normal. And then, you know, it's not ever the same twice, but you start to understand why your body is doing what it's doing. And if there are irregular things happening, you start to say, okay, this is something I need to go look at as well. We did that a lot this year. We figured out your thyroid situation and stuff like that too, which we knew was a problem. We knew we had thyroid things we had to address, and those are things we just talked about today. You'll get your blood work done again, so we can address those things and, you know, start managing the issues. Like once you know what the issues are, you can manage them. When you're in prep, it's already too late. It's already too late. Like that's what happened when she came on and signed on with me. It was like, it was already too late to fix this. We'll fix this when we get into your off season. You know, and that's what one of the things we focused on this year. And those are the things that you can do when you're in your off season. Again, this is why it's so important to stay on top of this stuff. You make your improvements during your off season not during your prep. During your prep, it's too late.
Yeah, you're revealing what you did.
That's
in the
right.
Off season.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's one thing my old coach used to always say. Prep is not a magic show.
That's right.
It's literally just exposing what you've just done.
Yep. That's right.
So good, bad, ugly. But it's definitely gonna be an interesting prep too. For so many reasons, but because of the changes that we've made with like my primary care with getting my thyroid in check too.
Yep.
I've never prepped with maybe a healthy thyroid level.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? So it's gonna be a whole different world.
That's right. That's right.
And then the body care, like recovery and everything. I go see Dr. J every Tuesday. So doing my body work, dry needling, did that the entire off season.
Yep.
So, and it's just gonna have to rev up for in prep. So we were talking about that today actually, he and I. It's gonna be a whole new experience.
Yeah, which is what makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're like, oh, part of me. I say this all the time about finding my coach because I work with Jamie and stuff like that too. I had some really shitty coaches in the past, really really bad ones, and a lot of people are like, oh, what would have happened if I had found Jamie first? Da 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 da. But sometimes you have to go through the bad stuff or the not so great stuff or the ignorance kind of stuff in order to appreciate when you got it when you got it good. You know what I mean? So every experience is valid and every experience you can learn from. So even though I had those bad coaches in the past, I'm thankful for that situation because now I understand what it's like to have a good one, right? I understand what it's like to have an informed prep. I understand what it's like to have an informed off season. I talk about this all the time. Like when I won my pro card, the coach I had at the time, all he did was my diet and my cardio. I did everything else myself.
Yeah.
So, I look back on that. I was like, I pretty much coached myself to my pro card. Like I did my own posing. I did my own training. I did everything myself.
Jeez.
Everything. I remember, I met him in person like twice the whole time I worked with him. And then after I won my pro card, I was prepping for my pro debut. I saw him at Pittsburgh Pro. This was before my pro debut. He didn't recognize me in person.
Stop.
I was like, okay. I was like, you don't even know who I am. I'm like, I've just been working with you for 5 years, but you don't even know who I am.
That's like dating somebody and then like they forgot that they dated you and you run into them and they're like, have we met before?
Right. Yeah. Literally. I was like, he walked right by me. Like, he didn't even recognize me. I was like,
my gosh. What? Money well spent.
I know. But this is also like, this is a sign of the times too. That was back in, 2014. I mean, things were a little different back then. So, things.
Were your check-ins through like MySpace or something? Like,
no, but pretty close. They're through Yahoo Mail.
You've got mail. Oh wait, that was AOL.
Yeah, that was AOL. Yeah.
I still die when I see people with AOL email addresses. Sorry, anybody who's got one.
I still have a Yahoo address, but it's for all my junk.
Stop it. Okay. One of
mail.
my sisters does too, and I judge her for it.
Yeah, I've had it forever, and I literally use it just for like spam emails. Like if I go on, if they want an email for like a mailing list, I'm like, oh my Yahoo, here you go. Like there's 1,000,
oh my
like
gosh,
7,000 emails in there I haven't looked at.
No, don't bother.
But I've still got all of my stuff in there from when I first prepped back in 2009. So there's that. So. But yeah, so things have come a long way, and things are just going to get better too with the amount of education and information that we have now. Even just on female health in general.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this too. Like, what we knew about female health 5 years ago was completely different from what we know today. So, we can't be mad about the results that we're getting now, thinking that we should have had that the last time. You know what I mean? Like, we should be thankful that we're improving and that we're growing and that we're learning more as we go, right?
Yeah.
So, we're just getting better at this. It was funny because, like, I saw a review on Reddit a couple days ago. They were talking about, somebody was saying that they loved their experience with Fit Body Fusion back in 2020, except that the volume of exercises was so high. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, because that's what everybody did back then.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Our training has completely changed over the last 2 years. Even what I did for training 2 years ago with Jamie is completely different from what I do today. It's because we've just advanced our knowledge of training so much in the last few years. So everything will get better as we go, as we learn, as we experiment and change things get better. And that's the whole point. Like doing the same thing over and over again is stupid, right? That's the definition of insanity.
That part.
doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So we've changed and we've grown and we've evolved, and it's exciting. It's scary.
Yeah.
You know, because we talked about this. We don't know what's going to look like once we get there, you know, but just going to hold on and embrace the ride, you know.
Learn something along the way. Look back and like, well, that was fun. But again, why I want like the focus this year, it's not that I haven't had fun in the past. It has been. Yeah. You know, my last season didn't end the most exciting. Trauma. God, spiraling. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want this year to just, and also I guess just like being only 41 in February, it's just like I'm just in a different place, you know, mentally, and you know, my why for doing this isn't to win the Olympia. Like I just want to be the best me that I can be and learn about me in the process of finding her. Right. So that's just.
It's exciting because you're going into a space you've never been in before. Same thing with me. I'm like, I understand that feeling because I'm going into fit model, which on the pro
wholly
stage.
unknown.
So you know, it's that fear of knowing, am I doing the right thing? Have I done the right thing for the last year? You know, was this right or was I completely off base? You know, so there's that fear, but there's also that anticipation and excitement too. You know, so fear can be paralyzing for some people.
Right.
You know, so you just got to be able to put that in the back of your head and say, listen, I've done my best and I know I've done my best and I'm going to put my best out there and just let everything else fall where it's going to fall. And maybe it's great, maybe it's not, whatever, but I did the best I could. You know what I mean? And that's, whenever I look back at any of my seasons, if I did my best and I checked off all my boxes, I did all of the things I was supposed to do, then I'm happy. If I half-assed something, or if I didn't give my all, or if I made excuses about something, I'm not happy about that. And I've had preps like that. I've had preps like that where I'm like, I just fucked off. It was my fault, you know. And those were the ones where I was upset about it. The ones where I felt like I really put my all into it, and I did all of the things I could possibly do, regardless of the outcome on stage. Those were the ones I was always happy about. And that's how I feel about this entire journey, this entire sport, because that's all we really have under our control. That's it. We can't control anybody else. We can't control what the judges are going to do. We can't control who's going to show up that day. We can't control any of the other things. All we can control is us. And there's a beauty in that, you know, knowing that I put my absolute all into something. It's beautiful.
Well, going back to the fear part of things, you know, in real estate, that's what I tell the agents that I coach and work with. It's, well, why won't you do this? Or why won't you make that call? Or why won't you go? Well, I'm scared. Success is what's on the other side of that fear. That's right. So just fucking do it. Just go for it.
Absolutely.
Literally, just fall.
Absolutely.
Fail forward is what we call it, right? So,
honestly, I'm like, what's the worst thing can happen? They can tell you no. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Right.
Oh, well, you pick up and you walk to the next one, you know? I always use the term of the law of averages. You got to get 9 no's for every one yes. So in life, that's all that is. It's getting a bunch of no's, and every once in a while you get a yes peppered in there. You know,
just get closer to the yes.
That's right. So with that said, how are we doing on time? Hey, we did good. We're almost at an hour. Look at us.
Oh, wow. Time flies when you're having fun.
So to wrap this up, I wanted to ask you, what is your strategy going into Thanksgiving? Because Thanksgiving is 2 days away. I
don't drink all my macros. I love wine. Like, I'm a wine girl. But no, I'm going to make sure that I'm tight the day before, the day of, half the day. Eat what I want to eat, you know, without feeling, I'm past the point of like eating to feel gross. Right. So it's not even a concern of mine really, but just being really mindful of the fats, really, because that's where, if I overdo it on the fats, that's when I feel like a slob the next day. So making sure I hit the protein regardless, and then just be mindful of the fats, and then just having a regular next day, you know? So I'll still be training. Today was a rest day. Wednesday I'll train. Thursday I'll probably just do Pilates in the morning as like a rest, and then Friday I'll train. So it's because I'm on this every other day. So I feel good about that. But yeah, just gonna be good family time. I'm mostly looking forward to time with the fam down. Because that's always just like you know, and they know my routine. They know how I roll. My nephew's so fucking cute, love him to pieces. He understands like we do this whole macro thing. So when he has certain foods around, he's like, Auntie, does this fit in your puzzle? He calls it a puzzle.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, I can make that fit in the puzzle.
Fit the puzzle
Let me
piece.
get that.
I love that. That's cute. I like that.
So we don't use the word diet. We don't use, and it's helpful for him too, because he's only 10, right? So you don't want little people having this like, idea of what food is or isn't diet and health and like, just be conscious.
Yeah.
So he calls it a puzzle.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's cute. I have to use it. I need my puzzle pieces for today. I need my puzzle pieces.
Protein puzzle piece. This is my carb puzzle piece.
Yeah. And in general, this is what I tell clients. We just did your check-in today.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going into Thanksgiving, unless you're in prep, which I don't have any clients in prep right now. But enjoy yourself, right? What I tend to say is like, be mindful the day before and the day after, because that's where things can get out of control, the leftovers and things like that. Then you just start on this spiral through the holiday season. Before you know it, you're up 10 pounds and it's the end of December. You know what I mean? So enjoy yourself on Thanksgiving. Eat what you normally eat in the morning, maybe a snack or whatever. Keep your training the same, whatever it is. I always train on Thanksgiving just because I feel better about it. Whether, like you said, whether it's just Pilates, yoga, going for a walk, something, get some kind of movement in something. And then eat whatever you want, to the extent of being mindful. Right. I'm never that person that likes to just eat until I feel sick either. Like, I'm just not that person. But I like to try things. So I'll try one of everything. And then I'll have like the one thing that I really want. And I do usually gravitate towards protein. And I gravitate towards I know it sounds terrible, but I gravitate towards the vegetables and stuff like that. Like,
sounds terrible.
I know. It's like, well, but that's the whole thing.
It's like,
right, but that's the whole thing. It's like people are like, on Thanksgiving, you're just supposed to eat the house. I'm like, I don't find enjoyment in that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we do a really modest dinner anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I'm half black, half white.
You're allowed to say that.
Okay, great. So, the next part I don't know if I'm allowed to say. We eat more like the Caucasian side in our household. So we don't have and that's a lie, because Southern families, they're, anyway.
Do you use seasoning or
we
no?
don't.
Really? Yeah, we talk about how white people don't use seasonings.
Oh yeah. Growing up, when we would have friends come over, we'd be like, so we have to warn you. Our holidays are a little bland. So boyfriends growing up, they'd be like, so we'll start at my house, the boyfriend's house, and then finish at
Oh, that's too funny.
No, we don't. So we don't do we don't the fried stuff. I guess the fattiest thing that we'll have is my sister will do a baked mac and cheese.
Okay.
And that's delicious.
Yeah.
But even that, I'm not used to eating a lot of cheese really anymore.
Yeah. That makes me uncomfortable.
Years.
I don't like
it.
Well, no, nobody around me likes it either.
I was gonna say it was in the bathroom the next day.
Yeah, I'm like,
but that
nobody
is
wants to be
something I
around me.
noticed too when I know we're trying to wrap this up.
Yeah,
but
we're
even
good.
when I eat and drink stuff that I don't normally, literally the next day my body's like, I release you. It does not stay.
I'm the opposite. My body just holds on to everything. It's like, fuck you. We're gonna hold this for a little bit longer so that you feel really uncomfortable and don't want to do this again. That's my body right there. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Out.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
She has the release button. I do not. I have the clog up button.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is really TMI, but literally I can go and use the restroom in the same amount of time that people just go and tinkle. I'm in and out. When I have to go.
Except for when we went to Georgia.
Except that one time.
And I made her use a suppository for the
I was
first time.
so scared that I was dying. Because I've never had that issue of not being able to use the restroom. I was like, it's not, I don't like it. But it worked. What is it, a suppository?
Yeah, suppository.
Yeah. And I love that when I posted it, everyone knew what it was. I'd never seen one a day in my life. She never
had a problem going to the bathroom before, so,
that's true too.
There's that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know. My white Thanksgiving. Boring food. So yeah, we don't eat anything crazy. So I'll bring I'll pack extra proteins with me because we'll have a turkey or a ham or whatever. But it's mostly carbs. You know, most households, it's mostly carbs. So I'll bring protein with me. And wine.
Yeah. I think I do like desserts, I like pies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
apple pie.
but I'll have a couple bites and I'm good. I have a little sliver of each type, so I get to try each one, and then maybe I'll have a full piece of one or whatever. Just depends on how full I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time it's like I said, I fill up my plate with the proteins and with the greens and all that kind of stuff too. Like one of my favorite things is green bean casserole. I love green bean casserole. It's like my favorite. So, but like we're depends on what we're doing this year. So we're going to Lansdowne. Yeah. So that's where we're going. We're on the waiting list for the buffet.
Oh, okay.
So, but the actual restaurant in the resort like does the same thing, but we're on the waiting list for the buffet, for the Thanksgiving buffet. Okay. So we've got a little like igloo that we
cute.
Like
yeah,
that's
sounds chill. Yeah, it's chill.
Yeah, I've never been.
The road.
Yeah, I've never been. So
convenient.
we're going there. We tend to do that for Thanksgiving because it's just me and my husband, so it's not we don't have kids and all that kind of stuff. So every once in a while, my parents.
You've got kids. They just have 4 legs and a lot of hair.
This is true. Yeah. For babies, but they get our leftovers.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Dolly's on a diet.
Both those dogs are so lean right now.
Yeah. Elvis is in great shape. So Elvis is our lab.
So
he's in great shape. He's dropped like, I don't know, 12 pounds or something like that from just living out here and just running around. This is his wild frontier out here. Dolly was tipping the scales at 16 something pounds. So for a little wiener dog, that's a thick stuffed little sausage. And so now she's down to 13.2. I believe was her last weigh-in on Sunday. She has weigh-ins on Sundays. She's in prep too. So we put our dogs in prep. She's in prep too.
We've got athletes in training.
That's right. No, literally. Like she, you know my driveway.
Oh yeah.
Like she goes up and down that driveway. That's her exercise. All of that. We take her on her little leash and she goes up and down the driveway. That's a lot for that little.
Those little legs.
Yeah. Yeah. She started dieting in September and she's lost 3 pounds. So
good.
Yeah, that's a good pace.
Yeah,
that's a good pace. But when you think about a dog that's 16 pounds, that's a lot of weight. 3 pounds is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You know, she runs around. She's so much more agile now. It's crazy. It's crazy how much better she is now. She was pre-diabetic. Yeah. So we had to do something about that. Anyway, how do we get down this road?
White Thanksgiving.
White people Thanksgiving. All right. This is what happens.
So 118. Click like.
I know.
Come on, things.
So the point of this is enjoy your Thanksgiving, whatever that may be, whatever it may be. One day is not going to make a difference. No. Enjoy it. Be mindful of it so you don't feel like crap afterwards because that creates a downward spiral at that point. So, enjoy your time, enjoy your family. Mm-hmm. Don't track it. I think a lot of people get into this trick bag of trying to track everything they eat on Thanksgiving. Don't worry about it. Just eat what you want to eat. Yeah. And then just pick it up again the next day. This is actually a strategy I use with all my clients all the time. If you go off one day, pick up as if it's a brand new day every day when you wake up. Don't try to make up for it the following day. Don't try. Just don't even try. So enjoy yourself. So then you don't feel like you diminished.
Right.
Like you restricted yourself. Again, there's a balance there. I think the better you get at doing that, the less you want to overeat as well. Mm-hmm. The better you get at realizing, listen, that food's still going to be there tomorrow. I don't need to stuff myself today. Yeah. The better off you're going to be. Yeah. So anyway, so we're coming towards the end of this year, which means that the Pro List schedule is going to be coming out in the next month. So that's when we're going to start picking shows. We've already kind of outlined again where she's going to be as far as what shows we're looking at. And we're taking into account, where she wants to compete, what shows she wants to compete in, how long it's going to take her to prep, budget, all of the things. Those are all things that are important.
Real life.
Yeah, real life things. I mean, these are things to be start thinking about now. Mm-hmm. If you've already gone through a year of off season, a lot of you that watch this podcast, that's where you are right now. Now is the time to start doing that. Start budgeting, start figuring out, what shows you want to go to so that you can work your way backwards through it. Mm-hmm. So you can get through this holiday season with a goal, because a lot of times people go through the holiday season just kind of floundering around up in the air. Yeah. Give yourself very specific goals through this holiday season so that you know where you're going to be when January 1st rolls around. Maybe you're going into an off season right now. Do the same thing. Yeah. Give yourself very specific goals so you don't go way off the rails during your holiday season. And then you can still enjoy it too. I think having those goals in mind keeps you in control as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in years past when I've been reversing in the holiday season, or have I prepped holidays ever?
No, you prepped. You reversed because you always do Ben Weeder.
Yeah.
So you tend to be reversing.
Yeah. So it's been manageable, but I think people always wonder, well, I guess 4th of July, in my opinion, is like a time to go off the rails, at least in our society. And I'm usually in prep at that point,
Yeah.
but it's easier to prep in times that other people are just kind of like living their wildest lives, you know?
I prepped through the holidays before. I actually liked it.
Yeah. Well, for me, it gives me a sense of like when I am prepping and other people are like partying or whatever, it gives me an added level of confidence. Like, oh shit, I just did that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yep.
Doing things that other people aren't willing to do.
That's right. That's right.
Look at her go. You
100%.
know?
No, it's like it's having that discipline and that ability to say, no, I'm worth it. This is worth it for me. You know, it's empowering to know that you can do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I do. If you've never prepped through holidays before, I have prepped through the holidays, through Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. Try it. I actually really liked it. I thought it kept me really like even through the whole holiday season. I liked it.
Yeah.
And again, going back to like you said, it just kind of gives you that empowerment kind of situation. I think a lot of people do that want to compete in like the Arnold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it actually is very helpful sometimes. I think again, I think if you want to just try it once, just to say you did it, it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking that I was in prep around a Thanksgiving because I wasn't in the control with my food that I am now. So I still took my meals with me to Thanksgiving. So I felt like I was still
Yeah.
It was because I couldn't trust myself to, you know, to just enjoy.
Well, I mean, even when you're coming into a reverse, we talked about that before. As soon as you come out of a show, that's the most important time frame to stay on it. And for a lot of people, again, they're coming off of prep right now, and they're just going, boom, let's go. And like freaking 15 pounds in a week, you know? So, just gonna be careful with that kind of stuff. But that's a whole other podcast in itself.
Episode 119.
Right? I know. So, I think that's a good place to end it. We do wish you guys all the love and joy with all of your family and friends, everything this Thanksgiving. Again, enjoy yourself. Breathe. It's just food. Think about it that way. It's just food. You're gonna be okay. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about here, and you're in that mindset, that's where you drop a comment, right? So be happy to help you out with that. And with that, for episode 118, we're at 118, right? That's what I said, right?
Yeah, 118.
Like, comment, subscribe. And for Behind the Bikini, we are.